What if your body has been remembering something that your mind forgot a long time ago? Okay, pause with me for just a second, not later. Now take a slow breath in and let it go. Did you feel that tiny drop in your shoulders? That wasn't imagination. That was your nervous system responding. Most people spend their lives chasing energy. More motivation, more strength, more peace. And yet, they never touch the one place where the body was designed to feel safe first. There's a quiet point at the very base of your spine, not dramatic, not glowing in movies. Just there. Waiting. Ancient healers believed this part of the body was a foundation, a place where calm begins before it ever reaches the mind. Modern science uses different words: nerves, signals, regulation. But the message is the same. When this area feels supported, the whole body listens. Now imagine this. You bring gentle attention to the base of your spine. No force, no pressure yet. Just awareness. Imagine a soft, warm presence there, like resting your hand on something familiar. Some people notice warmth. Some notice heaviness leaving. Some feel nothing at first. All of that is normal, because this isn't about doing something. It's about remembering that your body already knows how to calm itself. It learned that long before language. The problem is, we stopped listening. We live in our heads. We rush. We hold tension without realizing it, and the body waits patiently. If you've ever felt tired without knowing why, restless even while sitting still, or calm for a moment, and then suddenly anxious again, your body may be asking for grounding. Not more effort, not more thinking. Just connection. Here, on the Spine Gospel, we talk about the wisdom the body never lost. We don't rush it. We don't force it. If something in you feels drawn to this moment, that's not random. Before we go any further, take one quiet second. If this feels right, tap subscribe. Not as a habit, as a small agreement with yourself to listen a little more deeply. Good. Now stay with me. Because in a moment, you'll learn what this point really is, why your nervous system responds to it, and how a simple, gentle touch can help your body remember what calm actually feels like. Not someday. But now. For a long time, people believed calm came from the mind. Think positive. Control your thoughts. Push through. But the body was always quieter about it. It never argued. It never rushed. It simply waited. There's a place in your body that ancient traditions described as a doorway, not a symbol, not a metaphor, a real place. At the very base of the spine, where the spine meets the pelvis, there is an area deeply connected to how safe you feel in your body. This technique is not about creating energy. It's about allowing regulation. Big difference. When you gently press or bring awareness to this area, you're not activating power. You're sending a message, a simple one. I'm here. You're supported. Ancient healing systems notice something important. When the lower body feels grounded, the breath slows. The heart softens. The mind follows. They didn't separate spirit from body. They watched the body carefully. Today, science explains this in another language. This region is closely connected to the pelvic floor, sacral nerves, and the part of the nervous system responsible for rest and recovery. That system is often called the parasympathetic nervous system, but you don't need to remember that name. All you need to understand is this: your body has a built-in calm response, and it starts lower than you think. Most stress doesn't begin in the brain. It begins when the body doesn't feel supported. We sit for hours. We tighten without noticing. We hold our breath while thinking. And slowly, the body forgets what safe feels like. This gentle practice brings attention back to the body's foundation. Not to fix it, to remind it. One of the clearest modern explanations comes from Dr. Stephen Porges. In his book, The Pocket Guide to the Polyvagal Theory, he explains that the nervous system is constantly asking one question: am I safe right now? When the answer is yes, the body relaxes naturally. When the answer is no, tension appears automatically. No thinking required. That's why this works even if you don't believe in energy, chakras, or spirituality at all. The body responds to signals, not beliefs. Gentle pressure, slow breath, focused awareness. These are signals of safety. This technique is simply a way to deliver those signals to one of the body's most sensitive listening points. Some people call it grounding. Some call it rooting. Some don't name it at all. Names don't matter. Experience does. And this isn't new. Across cultures, the lower spine was associated with stability, survival, and presence. Not excitement. Not stimulation. Presence. Think about how a child sits on the ground, relaxed, connected, breathing freely. The body remembers that state. We just stop giving it permission. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly felt settled in your body? Not distracted, not entertained. Settled. This technique doesn't demand effort. It doesn't ask you to visualize complicated images or repeat affirmations. It asks for something much simpler. Attention. Gentle touch. Time. And that's why it's often overlooked. Because it doesn't feel dramatic, but dramatic isn't what the nervous system wants. Consistency is. As we continue, you'll begin to understand why such a small, quiet practice can create a noticeable shift. Not by forcing change, but by allowing the body to return to what it already knows. Stay with me. There's a reason this simple contact creates a response almost immediately. And it's not mystical guessing. It's biology. Your nervous system is always listening. Not to words, not to logic. To sensation, pressure, breath, position, stillness. Long before you think a thought, your body decides whether the moment feels safe. At the base of your spine, there is a dense network of sensory communication. This area connects upward through the spinal cord and outward through nerves that influence breathing, digestion, heart rhythm, and muscle tone. When this area is tense or ignored, the nervous system stays alert. Not because something is wrong, but because it hasn't received a clear signal of safety. When you bring gentle pressure and slow attention here, you change the signal. You're not forcing relaxation. You're informing the system. This is why people often notice their breath deepen without trying, their jaw soften, their belly release. Body responds before the mind understands. Science calls this the shift from a stress state to a regulation state, from mobilization to rest and repair. One of the clearest explanations of this body-first response comes from Dr. Bessel van der Kolk in his book, The Body Keeps the Score. He explains that the body records experiences through sensation, not memory alone, and that healing begins when the nervous system feels safe enough to let go. Not through force, through sensation and presence. That's exactly what's happening here. The base of the spine is not special because it's mysterious. It's special because it's foundational. When the foundation feels supported, the upper systems relax. Think of a house. If the ground underneath feels unstable, everything above it stays tense. Your body works the same way. This is also why belief isn't required. You don't have to convince yourself this will work. The nervous system doesn't wait for permission from the mind. It responds to input. Slow breath, stillness, gentle contact. These are universal signals. There's another quiet reason this area responds so clearly. It's rarely touched with awareness. We stretch arms, we massage shoulders, we rub our neck, but the lower spine? Almost never. So when attention finally arrives there, the nervous system notices. It says, "Oh, you're listening now." That's not magic. That's communication. Let me pause you for a moment. Right now, where are you watching this from? Your living room? Your bedroom? Your phone in your hand? You can answer that later in the comments. Just notice it now, because awareness always starts with location, back in the body, back in the moment. This technique works best because it does not stimulate. It settles. It doesn't excite energy. It organizes it. And organization is what the nervous system craves. When systems are overwhelmed, they don't need more input. They need clarity. Gentle pressure at the spine base provides that clarity. It says, you're supported. You can soften. You don't have to hold everything up. Over time, the body learns this pattern, and the response becomes easier. Faster. Not dramatic, but reliable. This is why people often say, I don't know why, but I feel calmer. They don't need to know why. The body already does. And once the nervous system understands this language of safety, we can begin to guide it with more intention. Slowly, respectfully. Before you begin, remember this. Nothing here should hurt. Nothing should strain. Nothing should be forced. If at any point you feel discomfort, you soften. You pause. You listen. That alone is part of the practice. Start by choosing the position that feels steady. You can sit on a chair with both feet resting on the floor, or sit on the edge of your bed, or lie down on your back with your knees slightly bent. There is no best posture, only a supported one. Let your spine rise naturally, not stiff, not slouched. Now bring your attention to the very base of your spine. This is the area just above where you sit, where the spine meets the pelvis. You don't need to see it. You only need to feel where it is. Place 2 fingers there. Lightly. Not pressing yet. Just resting. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Let it fill your lower body. And release it gently through the mouth. Again. As you breathe, notice if you're holding anywhere. Jaw, shoulders, belly. You're not trying to fix those places. Just noticing. Now begin the contact. With your fingers, apply the slightest pressure toward the body, not inward, not upward, just enough to say, I'm here. Keep breathing slowly. In and out. As you do this, imagine a soft golden warmth beneath your fingers. Not bright, not glowing. Soft, stable. Like warmth spreading through soil. Stay here for about 10 slow breaths. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Bring it back to sensation. Pressure, breath, support. Some people feel a gentle warmth. Some feel heaviness. Some feel emotional quiet. Some feel almost nothing at first. All of these are correct responses. This practice is not about chasing sensation. It's about allowing awareness. Now, here's a simple variation. If pressing with fingers feels awkward, you can use support instead. Sit on a folded towel or a firm cushion. Let the weight of your body create the contact. No hands needed. Breathe the same way. Slow, deep, unforced. This is often easier for people with sensitive backs or limited mobility. Another gentle option, if you are lying down, place one hand on your lower belly and one hand beneath your lower back near the spine base. Not pushing, just holding. This helps the nervous system feel contained, supported front and back. Again, breathe. In and out. One more breath. Good. What matters most here is the pace, slow enough that your body doesn't feel rushed. Because regulation does not respond to urgency. It responds to patience. This approach aligns closely with what Dr. Peter Levine describes in his book. In an unspoken voice, he explains that the nervous system releases tension when it is allowed to move out of activation gradually, without force. Safety first, always. That's why this practice is brief, simple, repeatable. You don't need to do this for long. 1 to 2 minutes is enough to begin. With consistency, the body starts to recognize the signal. Over time, you may notice your breath deepens faster. Your body settles sooner, not because you trained it, because you reminded it. Before you stop, Take a moment. Notice how your body feels now compared to when you started. Don't judge it. Just notice. That awareness is the bridge between this practice and the inner changes that often follow. Before you begin, let me say this clearly. This is not exercise. This is not effort. And it is not about doing it right. It is about letting the body lead. Choose a position that feels safe and steady. A chair is fine. The edge of the bed works. Lying down is okay too. What matters is support. Let your feet rest. Let your weight be held. Now allow your spine to lengthen naturally, not straight. Not rigid, just upright enough to breathe easily. Bring your attention to the base of your spine. This is the lowest point of the spine. Just above where the body meets the seat. You don't need to search. If you feel where your body rests, you're already close. Place 2 fingers there, gently. No pressure yet. Just contact. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Let it travel downward, as if the breath could reach that spot. Then exhale slowly through the mouth. Do that again. As you breathe, notice what wants to tighten. Maybe the jaw. Maybe the shoulders. Maybe the stomach. You're not correcting anything. You're noticing. Now with your fingers, add the smallest amount of pressure. Not pushing. Not pressing hard. Just enough to feel the body respond. Think of it as reassurance. Not stimulation. Keep breathing. In and out. Imagine a soft warmth beneath your fingers, not light. Not energy beams. Just warmth. Like the ground on a sunny day. Stay with this for about 10 slow breaths. If your mind drifts, that's normal. Bring it back to the feeling of contact, pressure, breath, support. Some people notice a wave of calm. Some notice heaviness in the legs. Some notice emotions rising quietly. Some notice very little. All responses are valid. The nervous system responds in its own timing. If using your fingers feels awkward, there is another way. Sit on a folded towel or a firm cushion. Position it so it supports the base of your spine. Let your body weight create the pressure for you. No hands required. This option is often more comfortable for people with back sensitivity or limited movement. Breathe the same way. Slow, deep, unforced. If you are lying down, here is another gentle variation. Place one hand on your lower belly. Place the other hand beneath your lower back near the spine base. You are not pressin. You are holding. Front and back. This gives the nervous system a sense of containment. As if the body is being listened to from both sides. Breathe here for several slow breaths. If at any moment your body wants to shift, let it. Small movements are signs of release. Stillness will come naturally. This slow, respectful pacing is supported by what Dr. Peter Levine describes in an Unspoken voice. He explains that the nervous system releases tension when it feels safe enough to complete what it started. Not through force, through gentle awareness. That is why this practice is brief. 1 minute is enough. 2 minutes is plenty. More is not better. Consistency is. Before you end, pause. Notice your breath now. Notice your bodies. Wait. Notice if anything feels even slightly different from when you began. You don't need to label it. Just recognize it. This noticing is what allows the effects to move inward. Because when the body feels heard, it begins to soften on its own. And from that softening, changes often arise quietly, not all at once. Not dramatically, but steadily. And that steadiness is where the deeper shifts begin. After this practice, many people pause and wonder if anything happened, not because nothing changed, but because the change was quiet. This work doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers. Some notice a sense of settling, as if the body dropped a weight it didn't realize it was carrying. Others feel emotions rise gently. Not dramatic, not overwhelming. A sigh, a tear, a feeling of tenderness. This is not weakness. It is regulation. When the nervous system feels safer, it allows unfinished signals to complete themselves. That may feel like release, or clarity, or simply stillness. You might notice your thoughts slow down, disappear. Just lose urgency, the body no longer needs to stay alert. This is often described as inner silence, not empty, present. Some people feel more grounded in their legs and feet. Others feel warmth spreading upward. There is no correct pattern. Your body releases in the order it chooses. Dr. Gabor Maté speaks to this process, and when the body says no, he explains that the body holds emotional stress until the conditions are safe enough to let it move, not through thinking, through felt experience. That's what this practice offers. Condition of safety. You may also notice a subtle emotional clarity, not answers, but space. Space between reaction and response. That space is powerful. It's where choice returns. Nothing here needs to be analyzed. If your body felt calm, that's information. If your body felt emotional, that's information. If your body felt neutral, that's information too. All responses mean the nervous system was listening. Let me ask you something. As you sit here now, what did your body tell you? You don't need perfect words, just notice. This awareness is what allows the practice to extend beyond the moment, because once the body learns, it can soften safely. It begins to look for that feeling again, naturally. And that's how this quiet shift starts to influence daily life, not by force, by familiarity. What makes this practice powerful is not intensity. It's repetition. The nervous system learns through familiarity. Small signals, received often, create lasting change. You don't need a special setting. You don't need silence. You don't need long sessions. 1 minute is enough. 2, if it feels good. You can use this practice when you wake up, before your feet touch the floor. You can use it before sleep. When the body is already slowing. You can use it during moments of stress. Sitting in a chair, standing quietly, even holding your phone. Gently bring awareness to the base of the spine. Contact, breath, support. That's all. Over time, many people notice they settle more quickly. Sleep feels deeper. The body unwinds faster after emotional moments, not because life changed, because the body learned how to return. Dr. John Kabat-Zinn describes this process in full Catastrophe Living. He explains that regular moments of body awareness train the nervous system to recognize safety in the present moment. That recognition changes everything. This practice becomes an anchor, not something you do, something you return to. The body begins to associate this contact with calm, and eventually, even thinking about the area can invite a softening response. This is how habits form without effort, through consistency, through gentleness. If you miss a day, nothing is lost. The body does not keep score. It responds when you show up. And each time you return, you strengthen the message. I'm here. You're safe. You don't have to hold everything. That message doesn't stay at the spine base. It travels into how you breathe, how you sit, how you respond to the world. And slowly, that steadiness becomes familiar, something the body recognizes as home. Which brings us to the final reminder I want to leave with you. Before you close this moment, pause for just a breath, not to do anything, not to fix anything. Just to notice. Notice how your body is still here, still listening, still responding. All through this journey, one quiet truth has been unfolding. Nothing you were seeking was ever outside of you. There was no missing piece, no broken signal, no lost ability. Only a gentle forgetting, the kind that happens when life becomes loud, fast, and demanding. Your body never forgot. It remembered in silence, in sensation, in the way it softened when you slowed down. What you touched through this practice was not a trick, not a shortcut, not something foreign. It was a language older than words. A conversation your nervous system has been waiting to resume. Patiently, without urgency. And that matters, because healing does not arrive like a lightning strike. It arrives like recognition. Like coming home to a room you once lived in and realizing the furniture never moved, only the dust settled. Some shifts will feel subtle. A deeper breath. A softer reaction. A moment where you pause instead of spiral. Others may feel emotional, unexpected, even confusing. Let them be what they are. The body releases at its own pace, not according to our timelines. You don't need to chase sensations. You don't need to force outcomes. You don't need to label every feeling. Just return. Return to the touch. Return to the slowness. Return to the quiet intelligence beneath your thoughts. This is how trust rebuilds, not through effort, but through consistency. A few minutes. A familiar gesture. A daily reminder that safety is not something you earn. It's something you allow. And if some days nothing seems to happen, that doesn't mean nothing is happening. The nervous system often reorganizes in ways the mind can't immediately measure. Stillness is not absence. Calm is not emptiness. Sometimes it's simply integration. Remember this. You were never disconnected from yourself. You were only distracted from listening. Each time you practice, you're not creating change. You're remembering how to let it happen. If this experience resonated with you, stay close to this space. These conversations are meant to be revisited, not consumed once and forgotten. And if you feel drawn to share what you noticed, even something small, let it be expressed. Reflection deepens awareness. Take one last breath here. Nothing more is required. You're already where you need to be.